Today we're making Parisian flan, very creamy and with an intense vanilla flavor. Hi, I'm Robert, and from today's recipe we'll get an 18 cm flan weighing around 1.1 kilograms. Let's get started and begin with the crust. For the crust, I put into the bowl of a stand mixer 225 grams of flour, 5 grams of sugar, 2 grams of salt and 200 grams of cold butter cut into cubes. Using the pedal attachment, we process the ingredients until we get a slightly floury, sandy texture. Once we reach this wet sand texture, we add 1 egg yolk and 55 grams of cold milk. The general rule for dough is that the temperature of the ingredients is dictated by the temperature of the fat you're using. So if you add cold butter, the rest of the ingredients should also be cold. We mix again on the lowest speed until the dough just starts to come together. Don't overmix, and you'll see that some small pieces of butter will remain in the dough. This is perfectly normal and exactly how it should be. Don't panic and don't overmix. When the dough is ready, we'll take it out, wrap it in plastic wrap, and refrigerate it for a few hours, 4 or 5 hours, until it becomes very firm. This dough, as you saw, has very little sugar, so it's neutral, and when baked, it's slightly laminated, forming layers. It's a very good dough that you can also use for other things like quiche. Because it's neutral and not very sweet, it works well for both sweet and savory products, and it's very easy to make, as you've seen. See you in 4 or 5 hours. The crust has chilled and hardened very well, and now we need to roll it out. I'm making this flan in an 18 cm ring with a height of 4.5 cm. Even if my ring is taller, that doesn't matter. So I need a strip about 4.5 cm wide and long enough to go all the way around the inside of the ring, about 50 cm for this ring, and I also need another piece for the base. The most important part is the side wall because that's what's visible from the outside and needs to look nice. First, roll the dough into a long sheet and cut the strip you need, then gather the remaining dough into a bowl again. If it gets too warm, put it back in the fridge for a bit. Roll it out again and cut the base for the pastry. I place it in the bottom of another pan lined with parchment paper, so I can easily move the assembled pastry later, and so it doesn't stick. This strip should be about 2 or at most 3 millimeters thick. Don't make it too thick, and hopefully it will be enough for the inside of the ring. If you can't make it long enough in one piece, it's no problem to use 2 pieces. When overlapping the 2 pieces, don't overlap them just a little. Make a fairly large overlap, at least 5-6 centimeters, because when it bakes and expands slightly, you don't want it to separate or for the cream to leak out. Join the 2 ends well and everything will be fine. Mine worked from the first try, which is great. After arranging the side wall in the ring, I add the base, which you can see I also made from 2 pieces joined together. I place it inside and use my fingers to seal the sides to the bottom, like with a tart. After assembling the crust, put it in the freezer for at least 30 minutes. If you can leave it longer, that's fine, but the minimum should be 30 minutes in the freezer. In the meantime, you can start preparing the custard. For the custard, I put 500 grams of milk and 160 grams of cream into a small saucepan and heat them up. Separately, in a bowl, I mix 125 grams of egg yolks, about 9 yolks for me, 44 grams of cornstarch, 22 grams of vanilla and 80 grams of sugar. Keep in mind that the most important and really the only flavor in this dessert is vanilla. So the better quality of vanilla you use, the better the final taste will be. The quantity I use works for me because I use vanilla from Norway, but if you use a different type of vanilla extract or something else, you'll need to adjust according to the flavor intensity you want. Mix the dry ingredients with the egg yolks, then temper with the hot liquids, put everything back into the saucepan and cook. Once it starts boiling, keep it on the heat for another 30 seconds to 1 minute, stirring continuously. At the end, when the custard is ready, add 70 grams of butter. Because the butter quantity is relatively small, it doesn't matter much whether it's cold or warm. Mix until smooth, then you can leave the custard in the saucepan for about 5 minutes, but no longer. Pour it and use it while it's still hot. Take the crust out of the freezer and pour the hot custard directly inside. It should be just right. After that, put it back in the freezer for another 30 minutes. After 30 minutes in the freezer, bake the flan for another 30 minutes at 200 Celsius with fan, preferably on a micro-perforated silicone baking mat, so any air bubbles that form underneath can escape. And be aware that a lot of fat will be released and will smell quite strong, but you just handle it. After removing the flan from the oven, leave it in the ring, untouched, for at least a few hours. I like to bake them in the evening and finish them the next morning, leaving them overnight in the ring because the custard is very soft and needs time to cool and stabilize before decorating. Once it's completely cooled, in a small saucepan or a small pot, heat some apricot jam. I like to use a lighter colored jam, which I heat with a bit of water and blend them with an immersion blender, or you can use apricot jelly if you can find it, which is even simpler. This is the texture you're looking for. It should nicely coat a spatula. While the jam is hot, brush it over the entire surface to give a glossy finish and protect it from drying out. You can also use other shiny glazes like nappage or similar. If you remember from the savarin and other desserts where I used this jam, I prefer it because it's more natural and adds a bit of flavor too. Apply a very thin coat on top. This is how our finished product turned out. The hardest part now is explaining to someone what a flan actually is. At least for me, that's the hardest part. Otherwise, enjoy it and leave me comments to tell me how much you liked it. For more recipes like this, don't forget to give a like, subscribe to my channel, and follow me on Instagram for lots of useful tips.